Hi, everybody. My name is Hayel, like Hi El. I am so excited to introduce Langley Lab. It is a YouTube channel brought to you by Langley Consulting, where I use technology to optimize processes, specifically for HR teams. However, this channel is going to be dedicated to using technology in any processes you see fit. And I will be covering a lot of UKG content because your girl is a SME in a lot of it. So I am so excited to bring this to you and to share some knowledge about how I've used the last 8-9 years of experience to transform the way employees interact with our platform. And I am not a UKG employee. I am only a UKG customer. I hope that this content helps from a client perspective to help you make the best decisions for your organization. So let's get into it. One of the first things I want to cover is the UKG Pro 2025 spring release. It's coming out on May 28th to May 30th on your production environment. This is specific to UKG Pro. If you have something like the back office or an HCM, Kronos legacy product, Dimensions, I won't be covering that in this release notes. So stay tuned for more information. First things first, they kick it off with position automation. The first version was called Position Management, and it wasn't very robust. It didn't have position control in the truest sense. And so I was excited to see that they now incorporate position budgeting and effective dating. So any spreadsheets, because I know HR loves them spreadsheets and leadership does too, they will have spreadsheets galore of position control outside of the system or use a really old rudimentary process. Definitely look into this because anything that can be incorporated into the system you are already paying for is worth investigating. And the really cool thing is position automation can automatically create a position for you to control. If somebody leaves that position, guess what? It's now an empty shell and not associated with any specific employee. There's also an overstaffing at the position level. You can create limits for each position. Instead of having a blanket rule across the organization, you can have limits at specific positions. Another item is password policy enhancements. Now, in the past, if you know, you know, UKG has rolled out some enforced security requirements. I remember when they changed the password length from 8 characters to 15 or something of that magnitude, and our employees went ham. They didn't enjoy that change. But this feature puts more control in the administrator's hands on password policy requirements. In case your company has stricter policy requirements, you're able to add those configurations, including what lowercase letters you want, uppercase letters, special characters. So it's aiming for it to be more user-friendly for administrators. So that'll be cool to hear. And then also, there's a compensation management PDF that you're able to customize now. You would run a people analytics, aka BI, aka business intelligence. For those of you that are not familiar with as much of the terms and the history. So you're now able to have the flexibility of making it more visually appealing. I remember we were looking at an external vendor to process total compensation statements because UKG can produce sophisticated looking ones that would properly reflect the company. And so I'm excited to see what that looks like. You're going to be able to customize the headers, the data, and specific elements. So I'm excited to play with that and see if it fits our unique needs as it's supposed to. And in terms of payroll, okay, my payroll users, there will be an ability to process the undo step for multiple pay groups. That is a customer idea that was delivered very highly desirable feature because if you have multiple pay groups, it is a nightmare. It takes forever sometimes, depending on how many employees you have in the batch. It just takes a long time. So it is really, really cool to see this feature come to life from a customer idea to inception, which UKG is incredible at doing. So kudos to them. All right, picking up with talent acquisition. And I'm not going into full depth in here. This is really high level release updates. Some of the talent items that are coming out, I'm pretty excited about. Before I jump into it, recruiting is probably one of the modules in UKG that I've seen the least amount of customers use, particularly because there are best in class like ISIMs out there that can do so much with and satisfy many complex needs of talent acquisition. So anytime they roll something out, I'm always curious to see how they've optimized and how they're reaching that best in class. So the first feature that I see is called applicant question groups for automatic assignment. Recruiters and hiring managers will be able to automatically assign questionnaire to specific requisition types. So it'll minimize the manual effort of actually having to assign those things to a specific applicant or a specific requisition. Any opportunity to remove manual effort, I'm on board with. You'll also be able to bulk application disposition. So right now you have to manually disposition positions within the organization. This will be for recruiters or hiring managers, depending on how you have it set up in your system. You'll be able to simultaneously auto disposition applications across various opportunities. Again, boosting efficiency, automating another step so that you don't have to manually do it. It'll hopefully minimize errors. Another one is you'll be able to have a candidate application copy feature. You'll have an apply on behalf process enhanced because now you'll allow recruiters or hiring managers to effortlessly transfer applications between similar job requisitions for candidates who have consented to be considered for similar jobs. Seems like a feature that should have been available a long time ago, I know. But I'm very happy that this one came to life. It was a customer idea and it is going to be delivered off. So that means you're going to have to go in there and turn it on for your applicants. A lot of these features are delivered off by default. Onboarding, I have seen a lot of customers use, and it's because it integrates into UKG Core. And this feature in particular is effective for those using UKG recruiting. You'll be able to have an employee from recruiting feed over to onboarding and automatically be launched paperwork, new hire paperwork, anything from completing their I-9 to direct deposit information, all of that stuff. And so I'm really excited about that. It automatically assigns a process to that new hire too, based on criteria. I'm excited to see more about that and how it actually works. And the last thing I want to go over is actually the people analytics termination history, the grid that they hinted at. It's going to go beyond the most recent termination reason, and you're going to actually be able to see the full history of the employee relationships within the organization. So if you have often rehires coming in and out of your organization, it's really hard to keep track of, right? It's really hard to pull that information. It's like pulling teeth. So I'm excited about that one as well. And it's going to be in people analytics, AKA business intelligence, AKA BI. You'll be able to create reports on it and include termination history information. So bravo, another customer idea that I am extremely looking forward to. If you enjoyed this kind of content, feel free to like and subscribe. And I hope to be putting out these videos on at least a monthly cadence. Your girl gets busy. She's trying to get that bag. It's going to come. I am excited. And I hope you'll join me for this journey with Langley Lab. All right, take care. See you next time.